Assalamu alaikum sir. This is Mahfuzman. My ID is 232157796. Today I am going to present on research methodology, system design and problem formulation. My presentation will explain how we can start from a research idea, turn into a clear research problem, selecting the right methodology and finally design a proper research system. Uh, in this slide, what we will cover. First, I will explain some core research concept. Then I will discuss problem formulation, which means converting a board into a specific research question. After that, I will explain system design and the important principle we should follow. Then I will show the complete research workflow. Finally, I explain how to choose between qualitative, quantitative and mixed methods. In this slide, what is research methodology? Basically, research methodology is a systematic plan for doing research. It connects it connects three more important things: problem, the research question, and the evidence we need to answer that question. Methodology is broader than a single method needed. For example, a survey or an experiment is a method, but methodology explains why we choose the particular method. These are the three main layers. First of all, the research philosophy, such as positivist and interpretivist. Second one is methodological approach, such as qualitative, quantitative, or mixed method. And another one is specific method, such as survey, experiment, case study, or simulations. In this slide, we will know core concept. These are the four important concepts we need to understand. The first is validity. It means whether our study really measure what we want to measure. The second one is reliability. It means whether we get consistent result when we repeat the study under similar condition. And the third is general reliability. It asks whether our finding can also apply to a wider population. And the fourth is reproducibility. It means another researcher should be able to follow our process and get similar result. These concepts helps make me research more trustworthy. In this slide, formulating the research problem. Now let's talk about the problem formulation. We usually start with a broad research area or a real world problem. Then we narrow the focus by reading existing research and finding the specific gap. After that, we define a clear and testable research question. Finally, we set the scope and objective. This tell us what our research will cover, what it will not cover, and what result we want to achieve. So, problem formulation helps us to move a general idea to clear research problem. System design. After defining the problem, we need to design the system or study. These are the four important principles. First is requirement analysis. We convert our research question into specific functional and data requirement. Second one is architectural and modularity. We divide the system into smaller independent components so they are easier to build and test. Third is scalability and robustness. The system should be able to handle larger datasets and unexpected situations. Finally, we need validation and testing to make sure that the system meets the original requirements. In this slide, we will know the research workflow. This This slide shows the complete research workflow. We first start with problem formulation and define the research question. Then we do literature review to understand existing research. Next, we select the appropriate methodology. After that, we move to system design and implementation. Then we check whether the system meets our research objective. If the objectives are not met, we go back to the reverse design. If the objectives are met, we continue the result and discussion and design. So the workflow is not always a straight line. Sometimes we need to go back and improve our design. In this slide, we will discuss choosing the right methodology. These are the three main choices. First of all is qualitative. Qualitative research focus on meaning, experience, and context. It usually uses word, interview, and case studies. It is useful for questions like why and how. Qualitative research focuses on numbers on statistics. It is useful for measuring relationship and answering questions like what and how much. Survey and experiments are common examples. Finally, mixed method. Mixed method combines both qualitative and quantitative approaches. It is useful when we need a more complete understanding of a complex problem. The important point is the research question should decide the methodology, not the other way around. Best practices. These are the four important best practices. First, align method to question with research question. Second, plan for reproducibility by documenting our data, assumption and parameters. Third, design for scale early, especially if we may work with larger dataset later. And finally, we should review the work for regularly. The diagram should be treated as living checklist that can be changed as research develops. In this slide, we will talk about the key takeaway. To conclude, research methodology is not simply about choosing method. It is framework that connects our problem, question, and evidence. Problem formation helps us turn a broad idea into a clear and testable question. System design helps us build research system using principles like requirements, modularity, scalability, and testing. And finally, the research workflow helps us move from the problem to final documented result while allowing us to revise the system when necessary. Thank you, sir, for listening. If you have any question, I will be happy to answer them. Thank you, sir.